Welcome to stage 6 of the tour of Switzerland. Another mountainous stage, not as hard as yesterday's, but we should still get some action. The early lone attacker Jesper Skibby has just been caught on this climb. Around 8 kilometers from the summit, it's not very steep at all, but we'll see what kind of selection is made at the top of it. The finale of the stage after a long gradual descent is effectively a false flat up to the finish, so I don't expect big separation between the big contenders today. But of course the riders make the race, so those who choose to be aggressive could be rewarded. The teams are already getting some aggression here because Stan Åkers perhaps has caught Ghost of Peterson napping because he's attacked with Andy Schleck. No meaningful reaction for the moment, although now Blackberry chooses to take it up with Vogler, but he's not up to it. He looks very tired. And now Schleck looking to counter, so 5Ks to go to the top. And although this climb is not very steep, they've got the jump on the others. Tunisa now reacting in service of Jan Ulrich, who should still be here, and Frank Schleck as well, so the riders with teammates behind coming forward to do the work. See some riders starting to look very tired at the back of this group. Stan Åkers, meanwhile, he's been dropped by Andy Schleck, who's gone forward. So 1 kilometer to go to the summit. Schleck leads by just under 30 seconds ahead of this select group of 6 riders. So it's Åkers, Peterson, Rees, Solhamston, Ulrich, and Fatani, and another group of 6 riders right behind them. So Schleck takes all the points, and it seems like other group of contenders a minute behind. They have reformed. So now it's 12 against 1 at the front of the race. And a long way downhill for Andy Schleck. Unfortunately for Schleck, this descent is not steep enough for him to really open up a big time gap. So he will have to expend a lot of energy just to stay away from these 12 riders. And you see plenty of riders behind, happy to do some work. I'd expect Ghost of Peterson, the race leader, to take a turn at the front at some point back there. And he is. So when you are the yellow jersey, at the end of the day, it is up to you to do the work. If someone attacks and is threatening to your lead, you may not find many friends around you to help chase it down. It also means that he's out of teammates, for what that's worth. We're under 20Ks to go now, and the gap to Andy Schleck, the lone attacker, is now down to 30 seconds. So he should get caught around the bottom of this descent. Eduardo shows us the teammate of Andrew Hampson on Ceramicas, going all out on this descent to bring back Andy Schleck. So we'll see if Schleck will have anything left on the next little climb. He's been off the front for a fair number of kilometers. Now his brother Frank, looking to finish the job. In and out of the tunnel and onto the final little hairpins, and we're straight onto the final uphill rise to the finish. 10Ks to go. It is not steep, but it's very gradual. Frank Schleck assuming the pace. Now Tommy Prem, who did not have a good day yesterday, so clearly Henri Onglade is the leader for the Blackberry team. But this finish a bit better suited for him, so we'll see if they're trying to set up a win for Henri Onglade. No Julien Alaphilippe in this race for Blackberry, so it's up to the supporting riders in the other races to go and get a good result. But they'll have to contain Marco Pantani because he's just launched an attack. Peterson was vigilant but couldn't quite catch the wheel. A big Jan Ulrich. This is a good climb for him. These long, gradual ones take advantage of that big engine. And it seems this group has the measure of Pantani today. It's not steep enough for Pantani, but he's made his attempt. Eduardo Chozas just dropped out of this group. And now Pantani goes again, 4 kilometers to go. Well, excuse me, that's Hampsten. He's also wearing a white jersey, just like Pantani. It's going to be an explosive finale all the way up to the line. An all-out effort for the stage win, and these time bonuses between Rees and Peterson could come into play. And Pantani, he launches yet again. This time it's Bjarne Riis on his wheel. And they've opened it up a little bit on everybody else. Rees is in great position for the sprint. Pantani is leading him out. But I think Bjarne Riis will take the stage win and the race lead for Kelme. So he played that perfectly in the finale. He got in perfect position and finished off with the sprint. Rigoberto Urán gets up in the second place. Stan Åker's in the top 3 again. Third place. Jan Ullrich bouncing back from yesterday's loss. He gets 4th, and Henri Anglade 5th. So Andy Schleck and Ghost of Peterson actually lost a little bit of time today. Around about 20 seconds. But of course that will be enough for Ghost of Peterson to lose his race lead, if my calculations are correct. A big group of riders, including Marc Madio, they finished around 4 minutes down today, so the time gaps out to the lesser riders continuing to get bigger and bigger. And Paul Sherwin bringing up the rear for Fiat. Here's that final sprint one more time. It was Marco Pantani who attacked, trying to get away from everybody else. And Rees just stuck in his wheel and got around him right in the final meters to take a convincing victory. It appears we might have a technical difficulty here, so we'll have to be patient and wait for the classifications. There we are, seems to have resolved itself. So it's Rees, Urán, Åkers, Ullrich, and Anglade. Your top 5 all in the same time. Pantani 6th place at 7 seconds. Hampsten, Tönnies, Schleck, and Andy Schleck, and Ghost of Peterson. They lost 12 seconds today, so Andy Schleck might have paid a little bit for his early attack. Might have been up towards the top 3 if he didn't expend so much energy. And a surprise result for Rigoberto Urán, who had scored no points all season until this stage. So Evian getting a good result for Urán. He's lost a lot of time, but still points for the team. And Bjarne Riis, as suspected, is the new race leader. Stan Åker's now up to 2nd place at 12 seconds. Ghost of Peterson down to 3rd at 16 seconds. Andy Schleck 4th at 45 seconds. Pantani still 5th, Anglade still 6th, and Jan Ullrich now up to 7th place. Had a much better performance today after yesterday's stage. And this is before the time trial, which is the very next stage, which goes up and over a mountain. So that will be a big factor in the fight for the GC. And the King of the Mountains, Ghost of Peterson, based on countback, has the lead, though it's tied with Schleck